What's up, bosses? There's a ton of great stuff in today's show, including a crazy story out of Florida about an unexpected writer, reports of travel centers taking more COVID-19 precautions, talks of preparations by FedEx and UPS to ship a COVID-19 vaccine, and a driver doesn't let the weather stop him from getting to his destination on time. Let's hit the gas and get going. Welcome to this week's show, bosses. Before we get down to this week's news, we've got a serious topic to discuss: autonomous trucks. Our regulations correspondent Brad Kuhn reports in part 2 of our 3-part series.
Hey everybody, and welcome to part 2 in our series on autonomous trucking. In part 1, we explored the autonomous landscape. In this segment, we'll cover key milestones, provide a timeline for rollout, and as always, we'll let truckers weigh in on what they think. In fact, let's give drivers the first word.
Nobody even thinks that they're as far ahead as they are.
I believe this is a lot closer than most people think. I still see a lot of people say that we're not going to see this for a long time. It's ready to roll out right now. After the last few months, they've worked on implementing a lot of 5G, which anyone that's looked into autonomous knows they need that to make the trucks operate the way they need them to. And it's here. There's trucks being manufactured with it already, kind of under the radar, and it's here if they wanted to. Obviously, the public's conception of it right now is not that high. When you talk to them, they're okay with Teslas. They're not okay with tractor trailers driving themselves for the most part, which is a good thing for us as truck drivers.
Daimler introduced the first road-legal self-driving truck in an epic projection spectacle at the Hoover Dam in 2015. In 2016, Uber laid claim to the first autonomous commercial delivery, hauling 51,000 cans of Budweiser 120 miles under carefully controlled conditions. In 2017, Peloton Technology began testing electronically linked platoons. In 2018, Starsky Robotics remotely piloted a truck with no in-cab operator at 100 miles on a rural road through the sugarcane fields of South Florida. And in 2019, Plus AI claimed to have made the first hands-free transcontinental freight shipment, hauling Land O'Lakes butter from California to Pennsylvania in 3 days with a safety driver sitting passively behind the wheel. All of these milestones were publicity stunts, but a lot of real progress has been made as well. Too Simple, a company with headquarters in both Northern California and China, already claims to have 22 paying freight clients and recently announced plans to roll out a nationwide autonomous freight network by 2024. Now, before anyone gets any ideas about a bunch of zombie robot trucks with no drivers, it's important to know that there are 5 levels of automation. The first 4, which is all anybody expects to see for the next 10 years, require drivers. Starsky Robotics, the only serious contender with a business plan that called for immediately replacing in-cab drivers with remote operators, was unable to sell investors on the idea and went out of business in March. The market apparently agrees with drivers who say that so far no one has come up with a way for a machine to replicate everything that a human driver can do, especially when it comes to operating in urban environments, docking, finessing heavy or shifting loads, and raising and lowering landing gear. Smart money is hoping to cash in on the low-hanging fruit: long, straight highway hauls with dry vans, and platooning, the autonomous version of follow the leader, where a lead truck with a driver is followed at close range by a tail of electronically linked robot trucks with or without drivers. By sticking to easier loads and roads, autonomous trucking companies hope to reduce the logistical and regulatory hurdles they have to overcome on the path to profits. To date, 29 states have passed some kind of autonomous legislation, and 27 have approved platooning, at least on a pilot basis. Approved states already encompass more than 80% of U.S. freight traffic. One of those states is Ohio, which has invested $14 billion over the past decade to make its roads the most autonomous friendly in the country.
We want to make sure the technology is safe. The best way to do that is, from a state perspective, to try to partner with local communities, companies, to kind of make sure we're all going towards the same place, right? Like, we want to make sure that what is being developed by these companies is going to make local communities safer, that as this transportation industry changes and the way manufacturing changes, we want to make sure we keep these jobs and the development of these new systems in the state of Ohio.
Most states still require a human driver to sit at the controls, and that's not likely to change in the near future. But autonomous technology companies are lobbying for every advantage they can get. Pronto AI, for example, has an hours of service exemption request pending with FMCSA that would grant their customers an extra 2 hours of daily drive time. Longer drive times without human error caused by fatigue or impairment. That's the promise of autonomous trucking. That and a 30% reduction in freight costs. Independent owner-operators are in the crosshairs of that change, but it could be decades before full autonomy is achieved. In our final segment, we'll look at some of the things drivers can do to ensure that they keep trucking for years to come. For the Truck Boss Show, I'm Brad Kuhn. I'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Brad. Be sure to hit that follow and subscribe button so you don't miss part 3 of our Autonomous Trucks report. Now, Isela, we know there are some very dedicated drivers out there, but this next driver took it to a new level.
Carlin, Hurricane Isaias caused some damage in the East Coast, but that wasn't stopping a delivery truck driver who had a very important delivery to make, a truckload of beer. This happened in Connecticut, where tree branches brought down power lines to the ground, blocking the road. A landscaping company pitched in to help, deciding not to wait on emergency crew, and started clearing the road and chopping down branches with their chainsaws, but just so the delivery guy could get through. Everyone had their priorities straight. For goodness sake, it was a load of beer. Everyone knows you have to have a drink of beer during a hurricane. I think they deserve an award. Carlin?
Thanks, Isela. So we all know that COVID cases have been on the rise, and many businesses are starting to roll back policies and procedures they had in place to protect customers and employees. Take, for example, TAs, who are closing restaurants in several stations around the country due to the rising cases, just a few months after they reopened. For a full list of all the stations that have restaurants that are still open, check out the link in the comments below. Now, it's safe to say that we're all pretty tired of COVID. We're all eagerly awaiting a vaccine to roll out, and as soon as they do, it's going to be an all-hands-on-deck situation to get them to the people. That's why carriers like FedEx and UPS are preparing now to ensure everyone gets the vaccines in a timely manner. In fact, UPS is building not one, but 2 freezing farms, one here in Louisville and another in the Netherlands, that will store millions of vials of vaccines at temperatures as low as minus 112 degrees. And FedEx has added 10 different freezer facilities of their own, with more planned soon. For more details on their plans, check out the links in the articles below. Now, Isela, what's this about a guy hitching a ride on a semi?
This is the wackiest story we've heard in a while, and who better to tell you about it other than our wacky duo, Matt and Joey.
What? Bro, have you seen this?
What are you doing?
What is that? Oh, yeah, that's the one where the crazy guy jumped on the hood of that truck. Apparently, he was walking across traffic. I don't know, got out of his car, and he hopped across the median, and just people were slowing down, and then he jumped on the truck, and the guy drove off with him on the truck. What? Did you hear that? She said, should we call the police? He says, hell no, this is way too good. What is going on out there, bro? Yeah, I know. Not even gonna call the police. Yeah, it's a sick world we live in right now, Joey. You see, and tough decision. I don't know. Would you have stopped? I tell you right now, that guy would have been a permanent fixture on my truck. It's too crazy out here nowadays. Stop. You don't know if the guy's got a gun or he's only there beating the windshield with his hands. For what reason? And if you stop, now what's going to happen? He's going to pull you out of the truck and kill you or rob you. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? No, I completely agree with you, but, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I mean, the guy probably should have stopped the truck, and, I don't know, something, called police or something, because all that crazy driving he was doing, what happens if that guy would have fell off the hood and rolled under the tires? It would have been hamburger meat. That's what would have happened. See, there's got to be some type of law or something to protect yourself or something. It just can't be a free-for-all for all the maniacs out there, and then the people that are law-abiding citizens. Oh, you have to play by the rules. You have to. No. What? Come on. What's going on here? This guy jumped on his hood. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Try to win that one in the courtroom. That's the problem. Had that driver thrown him off the hood and run him over with the tires, it would have been a problem. It would have been a big problem. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy gets fired. You know? Because that's how messed up the world is. You know? That's how messed up it is. I tell you what. I tell you what. Man, if I was in a situation like that. Man. Come on. What would you have done? It's tough to say, but I probably would have stopped the truck and called 911, you know, because, come on, you know, you got to use your brain a little bit here, you know. You can't just be Mad Maxing it out here, you know. That's why they call us professional drivers, you know. We take the higher road. We do the right thing, you know, instead of what that guy did. I mean, he was over there shaking the truck, driving fast, slowing down, trying to throw the guy off the truck. That's not a professional driver. So, yeah, I would have stopped, you know, called 911, got the guy off the truck, you know, what are you going to do? You can't, I mean, if he had a gun, I don't know. Look, you got to, every situation has its merits, I guess, you know. But in the video, the guy didn't have a gun. He was just beating the windshield with his hands. And it looked like he was wearing freaking underwear. So I don't know where he would have hit a gun. I don't know. What about you? No, I agree with everything you said about being a professional, you know, and that's what we're supposed to be doing out here. But let me tell you something. In this day and age, nobody cares. Nobody cares about being professional. It's survival to the fittest. You want to go home, see your kids again? You want to go home to that nice new house and car and everything you've been working hard for? You got to protect yourself. It's crazy out here in these streets. Jeez. You know what, Joey, you're right. You're right. But still, every situation, you have to analyze everything, you know. So, like, if the guy didn't have a gun, I would have stopped the truck, got him off the truck, called 911, whatever. But if the guy had a gun, you know, and now he's shooting through the windshield, then all bets are off then. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, then it's, you know, yeah. Yeah, then it's hamburger meat time. Yeah, see, now you see. I knew you were smart. I knew you had a brain under there, you. Hamburger meat time.
Now that is wacky for sure. Let me tell you, that's something you see in a Hollywood,
right?
You know, scene or something. Some crazy man on top of somebody's head. I don't know, but that was something.
Yeah, it was crazy, and oh man, I would not want to be the driver or the man on the hood.
No,
but
no.
Hey, you know, to each their own. But we do have some extra bits of information to pass along this weekend to you guys. This weekend, there are some protests, some Black Lives Matter protests planned for the Dan Ryan Expressway in Chicago. Again, that's this weekend. So if you are a driver, make sure you get there early or wait until after.
Avoid that area.
Yeah, just avoid that area until after the protest. That way you're not putting yourself in harm's way or anyone else in harm's way.
Yes, we don't want nothing to happen to anyone.
That's right.
Also, the CVSA's International Road Check is scheduled for September 9th through the 11th. That was supposed to happen earlier this year and it just got postponed. But don't forget that the rake inspection is also taking place August 23rd through the 29th. So remember, safety is number one, and we're letting you know just so you can get everything taken care of because we want to keep you on the road.
That's right. You got 2 weeks now for those breaks, and then you have a month to check out everything else to make sure everything else is in order. Otherwise, you may get shut down. So
Yes.
Just do it now. Just do it now. And tomorrow, we do have our extra that's going up. We are highlighting the Telemax trailer with Hail Heavy Haul. So be sure to tune in for that. And then next week, we're talking hours of service with E-Road and an Oklahoma car show that Isela here was at. And she's
Yes.
got all the awesome details on that. So
And if you can
definitely
tell,
see it.
I came out of the car show with some of these. So anyways, we'll talk about that next week.
And of course, don't forget our giveaway. The Boss Box giveaway is up. It is pinned to the top of our Facebook page, so be sure to enter. It's very easy to enter. Just watch it and we'll tell you and explain all about it.
Yes, and don't miss out because we're always hooking you up with some cool, awesome stuff. There's always tons of stuff that we put in the box and we just ship it to you. So make sure you pay attention to that.
That's right. And of course, continue to support us. Like, share, subscribe, invite your friends and family to, like us. That way we can continue to bring you all this awesome information because we can't do what we do without you guys.
Without you, that's right. And Carlin, why do we do this?
Because you're the boss.